evangelist.
1848 was really thought to be one of the most fabulous vintages. 1870 is another legendary vintage. So young, so fresh, 1900. Probably the most legendary Margaux. 1914, 1916, I think we have 1917. 43 is still very fine. 43 expresses the sheer beauty and charm of its terroir. Quintessential 59, of course, everybody remembers 59 because it was very hot beauty, subtlety, refinement, pleasure, elegance, softness, depth and length. 61, it's considered to be the most successful post-war vintage in Bordeaux before 82. Yeah, 76, well, it's quite a good vintage actually. 76 since 82, we have been an amazing row of great vintages. Margaux has the kind of wisdom, I think, not to show off its power, but to hide it behind its charm and elegance. It's not just fermented juice. Wine is so complex, so interesting, we want to understand it more. It can be philosophical. Wine is so close to ourselves. Its lifespan, its life expectancy is more or less ours. It's hard to believe that the world can turn bad when it's so interested in wine, because wine is something so great. I mean, which fundamentally brings people together.
The French have a word that summarizes their view of why their wine is the best in the world: terroir. It refers to the soil, the climate, the place, an almost genetic quality that stamps different vintages with familial traits. Elsewhere in the world there are doubters, but not at Margaux. It is the holy creed and central mystery of Margaux. It is upon the terroir that Margaux bases its claim for greatness, and on which it can base its prices. And it is on this terroir that Gilbert is reposting the vines.
Eh bien, apparemment, le terroir, il est très bon, puisque ça a fait un Château Margaux. Donc je pense qu'il ne doit pas être mauvais, le terroir. Et bon, toutes les parcelles ne sont pas en grand vin. Mais là, c'est un mélange de graves et de terreau noir. Bon, déjà parce que la vigne, elle a 55 ans. Voilà, parce que l'âge de la vigne, il fait aussi. On arrive plus à obtenir des qualités dans de la vieille vigne, parce qu'il y a moins de production. Donc automatiquement, du fait qu'il y a moins de production, il y a une meilleure qualité.
At the beginning of April, the vineyard workers' task for the year is just starting. Above all, to ensure the health of the vines. Every weapon will be deployed to this end, even sexual ones. Little capsules of pheromones have been placed on the vines to sow confusion among moths when it comes to the mating season. With no procreation, there will be no caterpillars to munch on the grapes. The true quality of the vintage won't be determined until the summer. But a very great deal indeed is riding on the fate of these buds. The vintage of a wine is above all a record of the weather, but there's more at stake than simple quality. For a first-growth chateau, a blockbuster vintage can mean blockbuster prices. The last great year was 2005, when plentiful sunshine was complemented by just enough rainfall. It was sold by the chateau for a record-breaking €350 a bottle, and the price has been going up ever since. Margaux would be very happy for 2008 to be another 05. Nature provides the raw ingredients, but the human factor is equally important. Alain, the cooper, makes about 400 barrels a year. And today the winemaking team are tasting different samples aged in different barrels.
C'est très gentiment construit. Oui, oui, c'est ça. Hein, on n'a pas
C'est gourmand.
Ça manque juste de
Et
densité,
après, ça s'arrête.
de chair et de longueur. Mais sur le plan aromatique, c'est très très bon. We just try to upgrade a little bit our experience each year.
But it isn't oak dominating the day's agenda. 2 months after the 07s were tasted, they are about to be released onto the market. How much to charge is the biggest business decision of the year.
Oui, allô?
The timing is critical, and chateaux release when they think the market will be most in the mood for their wine. Until they release, the price remains a closely guarded secret. Out in the vineyards, the other ladies of Margaux are preoccupied with the 08 vintage. The 11th that Veronique has helped to produce, and her daughter Céline's 4th.
Moi, je voulais pas qu'elle rentre à la vigne. C'est très très dur. C'est vrai que la vigne, c'est intéressant, mais les inconvénients, c'est le dos, c'est le temps, et puis bon, c'est quand même assez dur, ouais, le visage et tout le reste, on prend tous les temps, c'est très très dur.
On prend les rides plus vite.
On vieillit plus vite.
Tu veux de la pommade? Ça va.
Tradition dictates that certain jobs are done only by the women. Céline and Veronique are trellising the vines, helping to ensure that the grapes will be exposed to what every good vintage needs. Sunshine.
On va le savoir rien que pendant les vendanges. On ne peut pas le savoir avant, parce qu'il peut y avoir tellement de problèmes. Aujourd'hui, bon, le temps est bon. Dans une semaine, si ça se trouve, tout peut se dégrader. On ne peut pas savoir. C'est quand la récolte est ramassée que là, quand même, là, les patrons sont rassurés. Ils sont contents quand la récolte est ramassée.
Among the top Bordeaux chateaux, the wine is sold to Bordeaux brokers who sell it on to the rest of the world. In the last couple of hours, the wine that was tasted in April has been released. A snip at €200 a bottle.
There we go. Wow. Wow. Okay, on one of the most important brokers, we have 100% of response done, positive.
And they ask for more.
So it's got to be a successful sale. So, and then of course, every time it's successful, we start asking, it's too cheap. And every time, ben oui, évidemment, if somebody buys it, you think it's too cheap. It's
When the buyer is so
eternal
happy
question.
to buy, there is something, wrong about that.
And every time it happens. C'est vrai ou c'est pas vrai?
At any one time in